Have you ever found yourself constantly going out of your way to help others? While kindness is a virtue we're all encouraged to embrace, there's a delicate balance to consider. What if I told you that an excess of kindness, as well-intentioned as it may be, can sometimes lead to detrimental outcomes? Welcome back to another episode of Stoic Reflections. Today we'll explore a rather intriguing paradox: 8 ways how kindness can ruin your life. 1. Setting yourself up for disappointment. Imagine this. You've consistently bent over backwards for your friends, offering support, understanding and assistance whenever they've needed it. You've been the go-to person for lending a helping hand, offering words of comfort during tough times. But recently, when you find yourself needing support, you realize that the same level of commitment and care isn't reciprocated. You feel disappointed, perhaps even a tinge of resentment. Why aren't they there for you in the same way you've been there for them? The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature, knew that this could be a pitfall of excessive kindness. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote in his personal writings, "Don't expect gratitude from others. They may forget or even deny what you've done." This can be disheartening, but it's crucial to understand that while kindness is a virtue, expecting gratitude in return can lead to disappointment. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Apply this to your relationships. You have a limited amount of emotional energy, time, and resources. When you continually overextend yourself for others, you deplete your reserves, sometimes without receiving the appreciation or reciprocation you might hope for. The Stoic perspective here is to focus on what you can control, your actions and reactions. Be kind, help others, but don't depend on others' reactions. Accept that they may not always match your expectations, and that's okay. 2. Creating dependency. Picture this. You've always been the one to lend a hand to your colleagues, helping them with tasks, covering for them when they're absent, and generally going above and beyond. Everyone appreciates you, right? But there's a point where this kindness can backfire. When you're the go-to person for everything, people start relying on you. They may begin to struggle with tasks that you've helped them with in the past, forgetting that they had to learn those skills themselves. This dependency becomes a crutch, and instead of fostering growth, it stunts it. They remain reliant on you instead of growing and becoming more capable independently. The Stoics understood that helping others shouldn't lead to dependency. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, emphasized personal responsibility and growth. He wouldn't want you to enable others to the point where they stop trying to improve themselves. While helping others is commendable, being mindful of how your actions affect their growth is essential. By setting healthy boundaries and allowing others to face challenges, you inadvertently help them become stronger and more independent. 3. Neglecting your own needs. Think about a scenario where you're so attuned to the needs of those around you that you neglect your own. You're always available for others, but not for yourself. You turn down invitations because you'd rather stay home, read that book, pursue that hobby, develop that skill, spend quality time with loved ones, or simply enjoy some alone time. Over time, you might start to wonder, who am I and what do I want? Your own needs and desires get lost in the shuffle. The Stoics advocated for taking care of yourself first. In fact, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could stop being a slave to others, but why not also be a slave to the things you do for their sake?" That's not enough. You can't fill from an empty vessel. If you don't tend to your own needs, you won't have much to give. The key is finding a balance between helping others and attending to your own well-being. It's not selfish to prioritize self-care. It's essential. 4. Losing respect. Consider the person who's always agreeable, the one who never says no, who puts others' needs above their own to the point where they lose respect. When you constantly agree to everything and everyone, you diminish your own value in the eyes of others. People may start to see you as someone who doesn't respect themselves or their own boundaries. The Stoics placed high importance on self-discipline and respecting yourself. To lose respect is to undermine your own sense of self-worth. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "The most important rule of all is to keep your life in harmony with nature." Part of living in harmony with nature is accepting that you can't do everything for everyone. Sometimes saying no is an act of self-respect. a way of maintaining your integrity and showing others that you value your own needs and boundaries. 5. Attracting takers, not givers. Reflect on the kind of company you keep. Are they the ones who call when they need a favor or someone to vent to but never offer the same in return? When you're known as the generous, always available friend, you might unintentionally attract takers, not givers. These are the folks who only reach out when they need something. They'll disappear when you need support or a listening ear. The Stoics taught that the company you keep is a reflection of your character. Seneca said, "He who is good at taking will be deficient in returning." By being overly accommodating, you might inadvertently send the message that you're always available, which can attract those who only want to take and not give. Choose your relationships wisely. Invest in those that are mutually beneficial, where there is give and take, where you can lean on each other for support and understanding. 6. Draining your energy and spirit. Picture this. You're constantly bombarded with requests, some reasonable, some not so much. At first you feel a sense of fulfillment helping others, but over time, this constant drain on your energy starts to take a toll. You feel emotionally and physically exhausted, losing your enthusiasm for life. Not only that, but you might start attracting the wrong kind of people, those energy vampires who feed off your kindness, leaving you depleted and resentful. The Stoics valued maintaining a strong and balanced spirit. Epicurus advised, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will have a tranquil life." The key here is to set clear boundaries, to say no when you need to recharge, and to distance yourself from those who take more than they give. It's not about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. You can't be a beacon of kindness for others if you're constantly drained and burnt out yourself. 7. Developing unhealthy coping mechanisms. Imagine this. You've reached a breaking point. The constant demands, the never-ending cycle of trying to please everyone has taken its toll. You're burnt out, frustrated, and seeking a temporary escape. You might turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms like overeating, drinking, or excessive screen time. These behaviors offer momentary distraction, but ultimately exacerbate your problems. The Stoics emphasized self-mastery and being aware of your habits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The first thing is that you master yourself, not others." It's essential to recognize early warning signs of burnout or frustration and develop healthier coping strategies like taking breaks, practicing mindfulness, engaging in physical activity, or seeking support from friends or professionals. By addressing these feelings head-on and finding constructive outlets, you can avoid falling into harmful coping mechanisms. 8. Inviting suspicion instead of gratitude. Picture this. You've gone out of your way to assist a colleague. You've spent extra hours on a project, offered support during a tough time. Yet instead of gratitude, you encounter suspicion. Some might question your motives, wondering if you're angling for a promotion or harboring resentment. This can be disheartening, especially when your intentions were pure. The Stoics, however, would remind you to focus on what you can control, your actions, not others' perceptions. Epictetus said, "Some people are like that. Their whole lives are full of suspicion. They think everyone around them is plotting against them," which often isn't true. But it's their own distorted thinking that causes it. When you're too helpful or accommodating, some people may jump to conclusions about your motives. The best approach: act with integrity, help others genuinely, and let their appreciation be your reward. In conclusion, while kindness is a commendable and essential virtue, it's crucial to recognize its limitations. Being overly kind can lead to disappointment, dependency, neglect of one's own needs, loss of respect, attracting the wrong kind of people, energy depletion, unhealthy coping mechanisms, and even suspicion. The Stoics, with their pragmatic and balanced approach to life, offer valuable lessons in navigating these complexities. They teach us about self-mastery, respecting boundaries, and focusing on what we can control. Remember, it's not about being unkind, but about being wise in our giving. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, providing water when needed but not so much that it drowns them, strive to be a source of support without overwhelming yourself. In doing so, you'll find a balance that allows you to help others while preserving your own well-being and peace of mind. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos. Share your thoughts in the comments and join us in exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Thank you for watching. May you find balance and wisdom in your journey.